Hey bookworms, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my spoiler-free review of The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. I did receive a free advanced reader copy of this when I attended the North Texas Teen Book Festival earlier this year. I'm actually going to be giving away my copy of this book, so stay tuned to the end of the video to hear more about that giveaway. I'm not giving away this book because I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I don't think it's a book that I will reread, and I would love to share it with other people. The majority of this review is going to be spoiler-free, but I do have a couple of spoilery things that I want to talk about at the end of the video. This is a YA historical fiction, and it's set around 1890 in the city of Atlanta. So it's set in the South around the time that the Jim Crow laws were being introduced. So while slavery is no longer a thing, there's definitely still a lot of racism and segregation is beginning. This is also around the time that the suffragist movement was starting. While both white and black males can vote at this time, women don't have the right to vote. Our main character is Jo Kwan, who is an orphaned Chinese girl. She has been raised by an older Chinese man, and they have been living in the basement of a house that is also a print shop for a newspaper. They're living there in secret. This basement used to be part of the Underground Railroad, so the people who own the newspaper don't know that Jo and old Jin, the man who's been raising her, live there. At the beginning of the story, Jo is working in a hat shop, but she gets fired and is forced to go back to her old job of being a lady's maid. While eavesdropping, she finds out that the newspaper of the print shop that she lives under is struggling a little bit with their business, and she decides to moonlight as an advice column for this newspaper in the hopes that they will get enough new subscriptions to be able to stay afloat, because if they were to go out of business, she might no longer have a place to live. There's also a little bit of a mystery storyline surrounding who Jo's parents really are and why they decided to leave her with old Jin. One thing that I really loved about this book was just the historical setting. I do enjoy reading historical fiction, but I don't read a lot of it, and this is a time period that I haven't read about before. It was really interesting seeing this time period from Jo's point of view, because while she isn't black, she also isn't white and is still considered to be colored. This is an own voices story, as Stacey Lee is also Chinese, and while I'm not Chinese, I am half Korean, so I really enjoyed exploring this time period and this setting from an Asian perspective. I think one thing people might struggle with is that Jo definitely has some very liberal views when it comes to civil rights, and she definitely kind of fits in that modern person set in a historical setting that you see in historical fiction sometimes, which I know not everybody loves because they don't feel like it's accurate to the time period, but I personally find it way more enjoyable to have a main character who is really challenging the beliefs of the time period and of the people around her. The advice column that she writes causes a bit of a stir in the city of Atlanta because it is very much pro-civil rights. It questions the new segregation laws and encourages women to ride bicycles and to be the ones to ask the guys to the horse race. Things that women didn't typically do in that time period. But I thought all of that fit so well considering this was the beginning of the suffragist movement. Another thing that I found really interesting was this juxtaposition of women, white women, who were fighting for women's rights and how they still treated women of color. I really enjoyed Stacey Lee's writing. It has this dash of humor in it that I really appreciated. The only thing that was lacking for me was more of an emotional connection with Jo and the other characters in the book. I often find historical fictions to be emotionally hard-hitting, and I didn't have that experience with this book. I still found it really heartfelt, and I really loved the messages behind the story, but it didn't pull at my heartstrings quite like I wanted it to. I loved Jo's relationship with old Jin, the older gentleman who raised her, as well as her friendships with other people in the story. I did figure out the mystery of Jo's parents rather quickly, but I don't think that it was meant to be super mysterious. It really wasn't the point of the story. I really liked the direction the story took at the end and what happened in the last few chapters of the book. There's also a dash of romance in this book, but it definitely takes a backseat to the rest of the plot, which I really appreciated considering how feminist this book is. Jo is a strong female character who has a mind of her own and makes her own decisions. and I absolutely love that. I really enjoyed my first introduction to Stacey Lee. I will definitely be picking up her other books in the future. The other book of hers that I had heard of is Under the Painted Sky, and I believe it's set during the time period of the Oregon Trail and is also about a Chinese girl, and that sounds super interesting. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna go into the one spoilery thing that I want to mention. I will have the word spoilers on the screen the whole time that I'm talking spoilers, so feel free to skip through the video until that word is no longer there so that you can hear about the giveaway. The one spoiler thing that I want to talk about is about Joe's parents. There were definitely enough clues left that I was able to figure out who Joe's mother was before she figured it out. But my only complaint, and I don't know, this is probably just my own personal bias, but if Joe was half Chinese, I feel like you would be able to tell by looking at her. I've mentioned before, I'm half Korean, and I feel like I don't look 100% Korean. If I was to look at a picture of someone who was half Asian next to someone who was 100% Asian, I feel like that's obvious. So it kind of took me a little bit out of the story, and I found it a little bit unbelievable that Joe was half Asian and nobody realized it, even herself. But I don't know, I guess during this time period, Joe wasn't exposed to a lot of Chinese people, and because interracial marriage and having interracial kids was illegal, it wasn't, I don't know, at the forefront of their minds. But that was the only thing that kind of bugged me about the book, is that while I did figure it out before it was revealed, I kind of was surprised that nobody could tell she was only half Chinese. Anyways, those are all of my thoughts on The Downstairs Girl. If you guys are interested in winning my copy, which is an advanced reader copy, so it's not a finished copy, all you have to do is leave a comment down below letting me know that you're interested. I will be using a comment picker to pick out one of the comments where someone mentions that they want this book. Just know that you have to be comfortable giving me your address so that I can mail it to you, or if you're under 18, have parental permission. Once I pick a winner, I will respond to that comment and let you know that you've won, and then you will need to direct message me either on Twitter or Instagram so that you can give me your address. If you have read The Downstairs Girl, or if you want to read The Downstairs Girl, let me know down in the comment section below. Please keep your comments spoiler-free. If you want to talk spoilers, then feel free to direct message me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm always happy to talk spoilers there. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you like bookish content. That is all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bookworms, keep reading. Bye.